It's visit weekend and the Sooners have been kicking butt because there's a ton of crystal balls flying through. So we've got to dive in real quick on about 2 or 3 players that I feel like y'all need to be knowing about that we may actually have gotten a silent from. I don't know. All I know is this, is that when I was recording this video, initially a commitment dropped, which tells me that, yeah, we got some good stuff cooking. So let's dive into it. Before we do that, welcome to Sooner or Later Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. Please hop in the comments. Join the conversation. Let me know. Is there a particular player that you want to see commit to Oklahoma who has been on a visit recently? Love to hear from you all because there's about 3 players where information is just jumped on social media that we've got to dive into and get excited about. So without further ado, let's talk about them real quick. It's like I told y'all, we had like 3 kids that I really wanted to dive into. Actually makes it now 4 because I need to refill some things. But one that was a big one was Emanuel Choice. If you haven't looked at the UNFAIRSports channel, the link is up there right now. Check out that video. He just committed to Oklahoma, 6'4", 190 wide receiver out of Lancaster, Texas, South Dallas area where Emmett Jones coached high school, and he still got heavy ties. And so he won that recruitment. It was actually Choice's first ever offer, and then he just stayed loyal to the fact that Emmett Jones saw his potential from day one. Now the guy says a 6'4" wide receiver that's going to be nasty. So he's one that was on my list of people to talk about, but we'll jump at some of the bigger name players. So first and foremost, if you've been around this channel since we grew it, we started this channel beginning of this year. There was one guy that I told y'all that y'all need to keep your eyes open for. The guy that I feel like is a must-get recruit. That's Max Granville. And Max Granville comes from down there in the Houston area, Fort Bend Christian Academy, Sugar Land, Texas area. Top player out there. I mean, you see the measurables here. He comes in 6'2", 2.25. And he's an edge, linebacker, safety. I think he can play just about anything. Track kid, does track. And he's a beast. Everybody's got him roughly in their top 200, except for Rivals, but I think Rivals are going to shoot him up. He's their number 9 linebacker, so they don't have linebackers super high. But, yeah, no. Everything about Granville tells me, yeah, he's a monster. And so recently, Steve Wiltfong over there now at On3, formerly of 247, dropped his RPM prediction on him, and he said Oklahoma, he feels like, is the favorite. And it feels like a battle between Oklahoma, Penn State, as well as Texas A&M. Now, a lot of people have started flipping their picks from Texas A&M to Oklahoma or to even Penn State. It appears that Oklahoma has gained a lot of traction on Max. And I told y'all, I'm huge on Max Granville. He's probably the one prospect I feel like he was a must get, and Miguel Chavis may have done something to, for us to get lucky. Now, as y'all know, a ton of the crystal balls have dropped, and crystal balls don't mean a guarantee. It just means that everybody that is collaborating in their conversations feel like the information's come down that it's going to be him. And it sounds like, shout out to Colin Kennedy who put his in January. Stuff starting to stick, and Oklahoma is really recruiting this cat hard. We want him. And I told y'all, to me, he is a must-get because I think that he changes that defensive format. He changes things on the defensive side of the ball at the edge. He's a game changer. That's just the simplest way to put it. He's one to look at. Next up on the list, offensive line-wise, we got Tai Haywood. Now, Tai Haywood just did a visit at Florida State. He hasn't been in Oklahoma since September, but he put out basically a top 3. He said his top 3 schools are going to be Alabama, Florida State, and Oklahoma. This is a huge battle, right? He's out of Denton Ryan, Texas, so he's 2.5, 3 hours away from Norman. Roughly 2.5. He's close. 6'7", 300-pound offensive lineman, and he's one that Oklahoma really wants, right? There was a ton of smoke to him in Oklahoma in the beginning. Feels like that's died down since he made his Bama visit, but I don't know. All I know is this. Oklahoma has to find a way to get him back on campus. I'm not very confident in him picking Oklahoma, but I'll tell you this. I'm still excited at the fact that he is considering Oklahoma, and I think he's one that Oklahoma could potentially, close out. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll tell you this. Kicking ball. He can play. And he's a lineman that we, of course, want. You got him, and then, of course, you got Andrew Babalola. out of Overland, Kansas area. We talked about him. He's the 5-star offensive lineman, top 20 player in the country in most of these sites. Sitting here at 6'5", 6'6", just about 300 pounds. Babalola is one I would love Oklahoma to get their hands on, right? His battle in recruiting is really about academics. That's why you see Stanford. That's why you see Michigan have heavy leans to them. I think Oklahoma does have a chance because, we brought Walter Rouse in from Stanford, so that's a conversation that we can always leverage. Tyler Guyton was one that we was able to get into a first-round status from, even a 3-star coming in, moved him to tackle, and now he's a Dallas Cowboy first round. Beatonbow has a very good track record. I'm just hoping that Babalola sees it as well, or we can close him out. The last one is Kpek, now which I found out that's how you pronounce the last name, Kpek. The edge out of North Dakota. Cheyenne, to be specific, the high school that he's at. He's the 4-star defensive lineman, 6'5", 240. So he's the other edge that you really look at. Him and Granville together. Oh, my God. Beastly. He's a consensus and composite 4-star, roughly top 300-something player in the country. On 3 is very high on him, 177th. 247 has him as a composite, about 350. So, but he can play out of North Dakota. He'd be our first one out of that area, if I'm correct. All the crystal balls have been falling from him. He's at Kansas State this weekend, but the Kansas State people still were throwing in predictions for Oklahoma. Now, they think that they're still in the running. I don't know. It's probably a possibility because he's there right now, but I really like our chances with him. He's probably, out of the 4 people we're talking about today, from Kpek as well as Babalola and Tai Haywood, and then, leading off everything with Max Granville, I really feel like Kpek's probably the most likely to enter the class. I think Granville's right behind him. Offensive line is still the toughest. Even though Oklahoma is putting a lot of emphasis on it, I do think that Kpek and Granville, you put those 2 edges together, we're going to have some fun. So, wanted to drop a quick video. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How y'all feeling? Y'all think we got some silence? Jump in the comments. Engage. Let me know what y'all think. I'd love to chat it up with you all. You made it this far, like the content, hit that like button. If you need the chance, subscribe. Would love for y'all to join this family of college football fans. We're talking all OU recruiting on this channel, and we're having a blast to do it. All right, we're going live tonight. Check it out. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Peace.